as soon as I can figure out my imports. Let's do this. Round 2. So running Orisa into Orisa. Anna, Sim, Echo, Mercy. And they're very much running pretty much the same comp. I mean, they're basically running meta Tracer. So one thing I love off jump is how already flanked Tracer is. Tracer's outflanked the already flanking Echo Mercy. And oh no. You're just going to see it coming. Yep. I'm not trying to bully the Ana, but I'm just saying. Now, at the same time, look how long it takes that Tracer to get back into the fight after getting that flank pick. But just all around good positioning. Ideally, especially when you know you've got a flanker like that, you want. Oh, nice duel. Can we? Oof. Oh, that's a bad crossfire to be between Tracer and Sojourn. You got a TP out of it. Yeah, this is they got a TP out of that. Oh man, that's just brutal. But way to stall it out and took 3 of them to finish that off. Alrighty. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly from Wednesday, this was a pretty rough map to play. I think they pushed it all the way. But tank-wise, one gameplay thing that'll help, especially with that Tracer, is keeping that spear handy when you find the Tracer. Between spear and sleep, there are some tools on this hero roster that can slow Tracer down. Now, if we miss them all because the Tracer's just too fast and we're not as good as they are, okay, we'll just chalk that to top 500. But there were some abilities that we could have used that we didn't. So like Tracer. Another option is going Diva to kind of just get that swing that defense matrix. Oops, sorry, to swing that defense matrix over. So Ana went Moira here. Truthfully I don't like that pick because once Moira's faded, Moira has no other way to keep herself alive besides a yellow orb or hoping that the damage to healing conversion helps out. Hey, good split, nice job. I picked you guys about that last map and fixed it this map. That's just adaptive learning. You know, you figuring out okay this stinking Tracer and making good plays. Unfortunate spot for the Mercy. Save those movement cooldowns. Well done. Everyone gets out of that ult just fine. Really solid heal output. And then kind of like toggling back and forth between the heal, damage orb, heal. Oh, yeah, that's just a bad spot to be caught in the open. Ideally, you guys would want to hug on over. Now, this is not a room. It looks like a room, but if you can still hide over here, it's still going to block a lot of damage for you. Same thing on this side. And then just kind of healing the space here without getting shot. Also, a side note about the poke battle. Some characters really have low poke potential. In other words, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get a pick from it. And your chances of even just getting the hits that you need are lower. You need to weigh and value that against the characters you're trying to poke against and the players you're trying to poke against. Even a bad Hanzo can still get a pick off on a really good soldier who's trying to poke. Or in this case, we were poking against 5 players who all have great poke, decent poke, okay, flank. But so with the exception of Lucio and Tracer, they all had really good poke, and it was a Torb and a Moira trying to poke. But that's not a prime spot to try to get a pick off. Torbjorn technically can, but not effectively. Decent turret placement, but that Tracer's figured out where it's at, and is basically that turret really didn't get a ton of value. The core got some value. That's great placement. But they still managed to heal through it. Oh no! No! Okay, so 1 second. I don't want to belabor a point because this map is almost over and it wasn't a pretty one. But let's look at some positioning. This final point, as far as stalling it or capping it, I love the geometry of it because it gives the defenders lots of tools to defend it, while still giving the attackers an effective way to cap it. So there it's a 3v4. Especially when there's so many threats here. All 5 of them are alive. You want to play a game called Touch the Point. And it's not to try to cap it. Oh, wait. I must have missed something somewhere. I did. Okay. That was it. Okay. So I need to go back just to... Oh, not that far. Come on. Okay. Oh. Just a little bit less. Maybe even less. Okay, perfect. So, it's effectively a team kill. And we've got 4 on their team. I feel like all 5 of them are alive. I just can't see the 5th one. Deeps, heals. Where is that Tracer? I can't even find the Tracer in the replay. That's how they were playing. Can anyone tell me where Tracer is? Do we get a pick on the Tracer? Okay. They had just respawned, but I was about to say, it's a little crazy if I can't even find them there. There's a faster way. Alright, so, as we're coming up here, think about, again, time to kill. In other words, how long is it going to take for someone to die? If these 4 heroes, so 2 healers, a DPS, and a tank, all hit their shots on Mercy, well, we saw how that happened. Mercy's going to die, just deleted. Same thing with Kiriko. Orisa, however, is a tank. So, at this point, even though it's close, it's hard to tell from the spawn room. But they do give you this tool up here with the push meter. And it should give you a decent glimpse of how quickly you need to get out there. By this point, we should start swapping over to stall characters unless we have a critical ult that's nearby. Right now, the only ult we are anywhere near having is Orisa, which kind of sums up the game. But if we switch that order, and Mercy and Kiriko just kind of wait behind the wall, and they wait even 2 seconds until Orisa's down the steps, and then come out, they're both going to get full value healing on Orisa. That's going to be pretty hard to kill. And then I'm not sure what the respawn timer is left on Ace. No, it's not going to show me. Whoa. Trippy. But in terms of time to kill, you really don't want supports to be the one that try to stall out a point on defense. Ideally, if we could, there's a couple different options depending on the team comp. With this team comp, or going against this one, personally, I would recommend going brawl-stall. So, tank-wise, you're looking at Zarya or Reinhardt, Roadhog, possibly Ramatra or Junker Queen, but tanks that get up in your face and punch it out. and tanks that can also get lots of cleavy multi-kills or get lots of effect on people. But also tanks that can take a hit or can throw up a shield. Healers, if you're going to try to brawl-stall as well as try to get some pick-off kills on this annoying little Tracer or this Sojourn that's playing really close to the action. Supports, you're looking at Brig Lucio. It's not a high direct healing amount, but they both... Lucio in particular has great stall value, but they also have great support value, and Brig can... Okay, we're going to get on the Tracer, I'm going to swing at the Tracer and hope I get something, or if I miss, I hit something else, because they're all... These three are all on the bot, and the Kiriko is probably a headshot away from TPing in and being a part of this giant brawl pool. DPS, there's all kinds of options. Tracer's a fun one if you know how to play Tracer. If you don't know how to play Tracer, and I'm not talking like at Rams level, I'm just talking like basic recall mechanics, things like that, or be able to get 1 clips or maybe even 2 clips. But Tracer can be fun if you know how to play her. Soldier is underrated, and I say that because he's better at medium range, but if he's sprint, cancel, jumping around this point, trying to stall it out, and he drops a healing pod, or a healing station, that healing station is actually more effective than Baptiste's healing burst. And so that can help give a lot of healing support on a point. I think other folks. May, between her wall and her ice block, it can throw some things, unfortunately, but it's a decent opportunity there. To our other DPS heroes that are great at stalling. But long story short, at this point of the map, we're in the wrong comp. We got to look at different characters to stall this out, and really got to look at what's getting us. Admittedly, the DPS were just plowing through everybody. So ways to slow that down is to brawl it out, at least in this case. Another option, depending on the pool and how things are going, is to run what I call like a mini brawl. So go to a brawl-stall tank like Reinhardt or Orisa or Roadhog or possibly even Junker Queen, and then run long range, especially on a spot like this where you could get an Ashe. Well, I'm not sure if she can get up here, but I know she can get up here, here. Heck, you could even get up here and they might not figure it out. Should be able to get up on this wall, and this is a great vantage point. Likewise, there's a beautiful room over here. You can get shots over here, and heck, if you're getting I just clipped through the floor. If you get brave, you can get up here. Now, admittedly, you're flankable up here, but if they're all trying to shoot at the spawn and you're getting Ashe dynamites from over, and plus you have to have a vertical ability to get up there. So Tracer couldn't just blink and be on you. It would take her a couple movement cooldowns to get there. So yeah, basically this is turned into a giant death trap if you surround it. If you get an Ashe or a Torbjorn somewhere up here on this side, or up here, or even on this corner if you can't get up. Keep in mind, there's also a room with a lovely health pack. Oh, health packs are your friend. If you can get over here and get some shots in. It's a harder range to shoot, but you're not going to shoot into the robot. At least as easily. Because if you're aiming left to right, you can get a shot on the Lucio. You can see the back end animation of Orisa. Maybe Sojourn. Yeah, I think you could see Sojourn from there. Yeah. And then if Kiriko comes out, you can see her. However, if we're just shooting this way, and you come out, plain Jane spawn. Okay, admittedly they're all being dumb. They're right in front of the bot. But if they stood behind the robot, this red block that the bot is pushing, it blocks all damage. So they can just hide right behind that as their own natural cover. So DPS getting that spread, and then likewise, especially... Oh, this is dirty. Because Ana, you can see out this. Heck, you can back up here to the edge of the detail. Now, it's not going to be effective. You're going to be shooting through a very tiny window. Ideally, you'd want to come up to about here to shoot. But you're a dive away from, oh yeah, boom. Or, oh yeah, I do have a health pack right here. And so there's some opportunities to get some long range effect, because what happens is if they're trying to get an Ana in that corner or a Baptiste in this corner, heaven forbid both. So yeah, Baptiste, where's I forgot. There should be one over here. Or it's just on that side. Oh yeah, it's down in the room. Okay. But yeah, if you've got like a Baptiste over here who's healing away and chipping in some damage, and they have to use a movement ability to get to the point, well now that Brawl tank who's on the point has one less target to deal with, which means that tank's going to live longer. So even if they make a dive onto someone who's spread out, it's going to reduce their direct attack impact. If you can turn this blob instead of 4 against 3, but you can get someone out of position, or heck, and then this is how you can flip maps back. Let's say, okay, instead of Kiriko, we're running Ana. Now, granted, Kiriko's a great character. I wouldn't say that. Or, let's say you get Dove, and you give a little double headshot Kiriko business, and they're done. And now it's a 3-3. And you've got your tank and both supports, and you win that duel. This suddenly becomes a lot more interesting. But instead, I'm not trying to pick on people, but just kind of seeing the order of it. Mercy is basically target practice at this point. I'm going to try it. Maybe res a guardian angel to the dead Tor body. Barely makes it around. Some healing work gets through, but really gonna die. Oh, lived longer than I thought, but still ultimately dead. When really, if it's just to wait and get behind. And same thing with Kiriko. If Kiriko stays back at that maximum healing range, it's going to create the delay as far as how quickly the heals get there. But Kiriko's very killable right there. And I believe, yep, that ultimately does happen. And now it's a 4v2. Okay, that's better. Oh, 4v1. And now Torbjorn. Now, keep in mind that I realize at a certain point, you just got to touch the point. But instead of coming out here and throwing the turret there, and then walking out here where it's all basically right in this cone of fire, where they can just aim left or right. But if Torb comes out this way, through this side room, if nothing else, they have to spread their angle of fire over further to try to get that. That's going to be a harder shot to hit. Or if at the very least, if they miss, they're not going to hit your Mercy who's about to respawn. So, I know this was a hard one. I don't want to break down too much on this map because it was very quick and merciless. But in terms of how we stall, there are some stall opportunities that we could have done better. Again, I want to take a quick break, get this one uploaded, and I'll be back with more.